Good morning everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I am taking you along for what I hope will be a super productive study day as a computer science student. The semester is really starting to ramp up, and I have a big project deadline looming, so it's time to get serious. First things first, let's make some coffee. This is a non-negotiable step in my routine. There is something about the smell of coffee brewing that just signals my brain it is time to start the day. All right, coffee is secured. Now, let's head over to my desk. I get a lot of questions about my setup, so I thought I'd give you a quick tour before we dive into the work. I like to keep things pretty minimal to avoid distractions. I've got my main monitor here, which is a lifesaver for having multiple windows open, my trusty mechanical keyboard for all that typing, and, of course, my laptop. On the side, I always have my notebook and a pen for jotting down ideas, and a big water bottle to stay hydrated. A clean space equals a clear mind, at least for me. Time to get started. First on the agenda is tackling my data structures assignment. We're working on implementing a hash table from scratch, which is both challenging and pretty cool. I'll start by reviewing my lecture notes and the textbook to make sure I have a solid grasp of the theory. I find that spending 30 minutes on theory before I write a single line of code saves me hours of debugging later. I'll use the Pomodoro technique to date 25 minutes of focused work, then a 5-minute break. Let's set the timer and get into it. Okay, first Pomodoro session is done. I've mapped out the basic structure and the functions I'll need. Now, for a quick 5-minute break, I usually just stand up, stretch a little, and look out the window to rest my eyes. It's so important to take these little breaks to avoid burnout, especially when you're staring at a screen for hours. All right, break's over. Time for round 2. Let's start implementing the insert function. This is where the real fun begins, translating the logic into actual C++ code. Fast forward a few hours, and I've made some solid progress. The core functionalities are mostly implemented, but I've hit a snag with collision handling. Debugging is a huge part of being a programmer, and sometimes you just have to step away. So I'm going to switch gears for a bit and work on my web development side project. It's a portfolio website I'm building with React. It is a nice change of pace from the lower level stuff and lets me be a bit more creative. I'll just work on styling this component for a while. The sun is starting to set, which means it's time to wrap things up for the day. I managed to fix that bug in my data structures project. It was a silly little pointer error, as usual. And I'm really happy with how the portfolio site is looking. It feels good to end the day having accomplished what I set out to do. Productivity isn't about working non-stop, but about working smart and staying consistent. I hope this gave you some inspiration or motivation for your own study sessions. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.